That's right. I have returned. I am back. It's been a long couple of months, it feels like. Been super busy. We moved. That's why I haven't been streaming or making videos or anything. And I miss it. I'm back. I'm going to be streaming and making videos a lot more often now. A lot more often relative to not making anything at all. Now, if you haven't stopped by the stream, I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet all weekend. I streamed about 10 hours with Friday, Saturday combined, and I've got some initial thoughts. Now, first off, I'm just going to hit you with the cold water, talk about the bad stuff first. The graphics are absolutely atrocious, okay? They are unforgivably bad. There's no reason this game should have released at all. It is not finished. The graphics are stuttery. The rendering's terrible. You can't forgive it. You can't look past it. It's literally all you can focus on when you start playing for the first time. I did get a little used to it after playing for a while, but it still just really takes you out of it. Like, no matter how much fun you're having, you look at these graphics and you're just sad. That's all. Just sad, really. Now, the next really bad thing is Team Star. Team Star is so stupid. They have no motivation for anything. Team Star is literally, it's supposed to be like the bad guy of the game, right? But they're not like villains. They just skip school. It's just a group of students that skip school, and they try to recruit other students to skip school with them, and they have like cool bases that they go and hang out at and just train their Pokemon, I guess. They, instead of going to school, which if you play the game, you barely go to school. They just skip school. That's it. And they hang out in cool bases. That's their villain role. I could think of like 10 different things that they could have done way better with a villain role, like to replace Team Star. It could have been like rival school, maybe Violet and Scarlet. Maybe there's a Violet school and a Scarlet school, and you're enemies, rivals. It could have been like a Team Aqua, Team Magma deal from Gen 3 and Ruby and Sapphire. Like, in Scarlet, Scarlet are the good guys, and School Violet are the bad guys, right? And then in Violet, it could have been, all right, Violet are the good guys, Team Scarlet are the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been something like that. I think that would have been really cool. But they could have done so many other things, or literally just have a team of criminals. You could have Team Star be like literal criminals, like Team Rocket. Well, it's not that hard. Like, I do not care about Team Star at all. The 10 hours I was playing, they were not intriguing at all. There was no reason to beat them. The only reason I was fighting them is because it's one of the quests. You have to fight them. It's not like I was fighting them for the good of my school or whatever. Like, there's no inherent reason to be fighting these students. Like, oh no, they skipped school. What am I, like, the school police? It's dumb. It's so stupid. Now let's talk about the school, because I talked about it in the sense of Team Star. They just skip school, and the kind of whole point of the game is that you're going to Yuva Academy. It's this school for Pokemon trainers, basically, and you take classes like math and biology and history, but it's all about Pokemon. So it's a Pokemon trainer school. I feel like they could have done a lot more with this. I've only played for 10 hours, and I've only experienced the school towards the beginning of the game. I took some of the classes. The classes are really lame and pretty simple. You just get asked a question each class, and it's like, oh, if fire attacks grass, what are my dogs barking at? Fire hits grass, what's the result, or something like that. And basically the answer's, oh, you do double damage. right? That's math, for instance. I feel like they could have done a little more. Granted, I've only played 10 hours, so I've only experienced the school like right in the beginning of the game. But it feels like most of the game is centered around this like independent study that you go on, which is just an excuse for the game to say, do whatever you want, which gets into my favorite part of the game, the freedom. You literally have freedom to do whatever, whenever you want. However, there's a caveat to this. I was wondering how they were going to handle this when the game was coming out, but the gyms, the trainers, nothing scales to your level, so it's pretty clear that you can't really go wherever you want. You can in the sense of like exploration and catching Pokemon, but you really can't go to the 5th gym unless you're leveled up to fight the 5th gym. Like that can't be the first gym you go to because they're gonna have higher level Pokemon than you, and they're gonna wipe the floor with you. It's pretty disappointing that you can't like actually fight the last gym first or first gym last. I mean, you could fight the first gym last, but you would just one-shot their Pokemon. So it is pretty clear where you can and can't go at lower levels. And that's pretty disappointing. Speaking on the gyms, they are pretty garbage. You do a gym test, which is just a stupid little mini game that really doesn't have any sort of challenge or purpose. Honestly, there's no purpose to it. It has nothing to show that you can fight the gym leader. Like it's just a stupid little like, oh, roll this olive from one basket to the next. Okay, am I ready to fight the gym now? Like, did I prove myself? You don't fight any trainers in the gym except for the gym leader. Once you're done with the gym test, you go straight to fighting the gym leader. And they have 3 Pokemon. At least the gyms I fought have 3 Pokemon. I fought 2 gyms at this point, and that's it. Like, why don't they have 6? I don't know. So the game's easy. So that aspect of it really does make the game really easy. There's also party-wide experience share, which makes it easy to level up, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing if the game was like really challenging. But with the game already being easy, your whole party being over leveled to fight these gym leaders with 3 Pokemon is kind of ridiculous. Okay. I've kind of been just bashing on the game this whole video so far, but there are some good things. I have enjoyed the game. I've enjoyed my time playing Pokemon, and I always do, but there are those bad things that we just have to call out. Some of the cool things I kind of talked about, the freedom with, you know, the freedom's great. I love just being able to go and do whatever I want. It doesn't hold your hand as much as Sword and Shield does, where like literally the whole game you're just following this linear path, like, oh, you have to do this and you have to go do this, and they're telling you every little thing you have to go do. It's nice not having that as much. You pretty much do whatever you want. But like I said earlier, there is that caveat. You can't really do whatever you want. But there is a lot you can do just right off the bat. Also, touching on that, you can go through the entire game and not battle a single gym. You don't have to battle a single trainer. You could just go through the game, catch Pokemon, and do some of the other quests. There are 3 different paths to take in this game, and they really do a nice job of just kind of letting you choose which path you want to do. You don't have to do any of them to progress. At least that's what it seems like 10 hours into the game. I talked about it already, but another thing I love is the idea of having the Yuva Academy. I think the school is great. It's like, we've never really had that kind of angle in Pokemon, but so far I haven't seen them really do that much with it. It's kind of just an excuse to say, hey, go out and explore. But you don't really need a school to have that excuse in Pokemon. You never have. It's always been like, oh, just go explore. They don't have to explain why you're exploring, you know? It doesn't have to be to beat the Pokemon League. It could just be for literally no reason. But the school just sets up this kind of central reason to go explore. And it didn't really need to be there because they really just kind of threw it in there almost. It doesn't feel like they fleshed that out at all. Another thing I actually really like so far is terrestrializing. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it going into it, but the mechanic itself, let me be clear, the mechanic itself is really cool. The ability to sort of change your type mid-battle is really unique and adds a whole new layer to battling and strategy and everything. But it looks really dumb. It's just not cool at all. It's not fun to use. It doesn't look good. It's just the mechanic itself is good. That's it. I feel like every good thing I've talked about has some sort of caveat to it that just makes it a negative. But what are you gonna do? Another positive that comes with a negative would be the whole Team Star deal, right? I talked about Team Star and hating Team Star, and I think they're dumb. But the actual battles you do with Team Star are pretty cool. They have like I said, they have these bases that they hang out in, and you have to take them down. That's one of the quests. You have to take down these bases, and when you get to the base, you take out the guards, and then you go in, and it's just an all-out war. I forgot what it's called exactly. It's like a Team Star raid, right? You go in, and every member of this base is throwing their Pokemon out, and you just throw your Pokemon out, and they all fight. It's like that. They have like an auto battling mechanic now, where you can throw your Pokemon out, and it just battles wild Pokemon around you, right? And so it uses that mechanic in these raids, and it seems like the most realistic way that Pokemon battles would kind of go down in this sense, where everybody would just be chucking Pokemon out. It wouldn't be like super standard and set all the time. Like, oh, you throw your Pokemon out, I'll throw my Pokemon out, and we'll fight one at a time. Feels like, multiple people would be jumping you with their Pokemon, and that's kind of what it is, and it's really cool and fun, but I feel like it might get old. I think I just like it because I was kind of surprised to see it. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a different opinion on this later, but I thought it was fun. And then to kind of end this short video out, I'd say the last thing that's actually good about this is just the new Pokemon. I actually really like a lot of the new Pokemon designs. Hear me out. I know there are some really bad ones. Like there's just a random flamingo, and I think its name is just something like flamingo. It's pretty bad. And there are a little bit of that, but that comes with every generation. Not every Pokemon's going to be amazing, but the ones that have stood out to me, I've really, really enjoyed as Pokemon. And ultimately, that's the best part, is just being able to explore this new region. The region's great. It's filled with Pokemon, filled with trainers. It's massive. Do whatever you want. Catch whatever you want. Go wherever you want. I'd say that's really the best part of the game. And that's the main thing that is going to keep me coming back to it and just keep being fun. So aside from all those negatives, I'm enjoying it. But I'm also a huge Pokemon fan. But anyway, those are some of my first thoughts. Figured I'd share them. Been streaming Pokemon Scarlet. And if you want to check that out, I'm streaming here on YouTube. And I'm also streaming on Twitch as well, Jake_Shell. And I'll have links in the description that you can click on to, go to Twitch and whatnot.